Have you ever felt stuck in practice? Have you ever felt stuck in business? Do you ever feel like you're alone and feel like you're on an island and you don't have anybody to talk to as far as how to grow your practice or how to make it more you, how to grow it in more alignment? Today, specifically, we're going to talk about the Kinnection Mastermind that's been launched. We have a single mission with launching this Kinnection Office program. It is to elevate the awareness of the practitioners so they're happy, healthy, and wealthy. I've gotten to know dozens, probably hundreds of doctors at this point, and I've seen wildly talented doctors not meeting the success levels that they should be or that they could be. And I've met doctors that are wildly successful in business and they hate all of it and they want to tear it down. So how do we bridge the gap of getting exactly what you want in the way that you want it so that you feel like you're contributing to the world in an aligned way? We're also helping inspire doctors to bring knowledge and healing to the world congruent with your life's purpose. What is the purpose? The purpose is in the people and the people is in the purpose. But what does that really mean for you? Everyone is different. We're all brought here with specific skills and talents to bring forth to the world and express so that people can benefit from that, can learn from that. And how do you get yourself to that level where you feel like you are transmuting what's inside of you outwardly so that you can see the change in the world that you want to create? Our philosophy is built on a pyramid. There's 3 sides. Engaging storytelling. How do you engage your patients, your staff, yourself to want to join you in this vision, on this journey of health, of success, of growth and impact? World-class operations. How are your systems? Could your business run without you? Would you pass the bus test? What does that mean? If you got hit by a bus tomorrow, would your business still be income producing for your family, for your staff that rely on it? How can we get your systems in order so that you are creating favorable outcomes, ecstatic outcomes with raving fans, creating steady cash flow, and also training your staff so that they can continue to hone in and grow the staff themselves as well. It's not just held together by you. You're not holding up the walls. Your staff are all equally bought into the mission and they know their duties and they're continually getting better at the way that they express in the business so that more need is birthed. And then the last one is leadership. How is your leadership? Sales is service is leadership. Do you know how to lead effectively? Do you know how to deal with conflict in a healthy way? Do you know how to lead yourself with a certain amount of discipline and momentum? And all of this together builds what I believe is an office with a purpose. The way I look at things is always holistically. How do you see the whole picture? Holistic doesn't mean alternative, it means whole picture. It means all the things that contribute to life. And so when I look at this, we have to take into account, and I love this quote from Tony Robbins, success without fulfillment is the greatest failure. And that's what we talked about before. Doctors can accumulate lots of wealth, large offices, tons of staff, tons of patients, and they hate it all. But what does that mean? It's because they're not actually fulfilled. They're not doing what they feel like they're set out to do. They're not living expressed. So when I look at things, I'm looking at the person and I think of the 5-pointed star. And at the top of that star, you have your mental practices. What are you learning? How are you engaging with life and growing this beautiful mind that you have? What does your physical body look like? What does your business and your finances look like? How is this house? How are your relationships? The relationships at home are super important. The relationships in the office are incredibly important. The relationships with your patients are incredibly important. How are those in order? And how do you prioritize those? How's your emotional health? Do you have emotional practice set up for you so you have valve releases so you know when it's time to rest? You know when it's time to engage, and you know when it's time to rest. And at the center of that star, you have your spiritual health, your connection to something higher than you, connection to God, connection to the universe, whatever you want to call it, something greater than you that's working through you. What's your relationship to that? And when you put all these together, you're looking at a holistic picture of an individual. And if the individual, the leader, is healthy and is constantly leveling themselves up, then the business by proxy just grows. Storytelling. Storytelling matters. We live in an age of noise right now. On average, a typical American sees 4,000 to 10,000 ads per day. So how do you define yourself? How do you break through the noise? And how do we connect to people? Storytelling offers a path through chaos. Human brains are hardwired to pay attention to stories since the beginning of humanity because it meant survival. That's how we connected to each other. There are approximately 230,000 doctor's offices in the US. What makes you different? How do you stand out? In this mastermind, we tap into your story. How do you tell your story effectively? We want you to connect with your customers and cut through the noise. We want to connect you to your team and motivate them to success so that they have a clear career trajectory along with your growth. And we want to give you confidence and momentum to grow your business to the next level. The greatest prey is the uncertain entrepreneur. How do you build certainty? How do you build confidence? How do you build courage? It's actually by being around people that are demonstrating it and you failing and getting really, really good at failing so that you know how to succeed. And all of this bleeds over into every single piece of information that you emit out from your business and from yourself. It's your website, it's your social media, it's your sales materials, it's your internal communications, podcasts, it's your keynotes. All of these need to be cohesive. One, because that's how people believe you. Two, it's because it builds your confidence. And three, it's because it builds your personal brand. And your personal brand is the most important thing. Personal brands make the most amount of income. People love knowing where it's coming from, who it supports, what do they stand for, what do they believe. They don't want to just buy something to buy something from a big box store. They want to connect to who they are actually doing business with. But how connectable are you? How knowable are you? How much in your story have you actually dissected so you can emit it to the world? With world-class operations, there are a lot of things you need to hone in. But as far as this, the main things that we hit on are structuring your offer, value proposition. What kind of value are you bringing into the world and how much is it really worth? Rules versus values. Are you clear in your company values? Or do you just kind of have loose rules that you're trying to apply to your staff that you constantly have to enforce? As opposed to having values in the company and values for yourself to uphold that people naturally start to govern themselves. People naturally know the systems because they know what they stand for. A value of excellence, a value of connection and love and growth, a value of being on time, as opposed to these are the rules and you better follow them or I have to enforce them and there's punishment. No, there's values, deep-seated values. It's how the brain works. How do you engage in sales? Know, like, and trust sales. This is how you connect to people. If people know you, like you, trust you, they will do business with you. But we have to make sure that are you knowable? Are you being likable? And are you trustworthy? And those are things that you get to answer. Then we get into staffing and training. How do you train your staff so that they are constantly leveling up along with you? Marketing versus networking. What are those things? Networking is going to be connecting to people deeply. Marketing is just people getting to know your name. Marketing is going to be people acknowledge a symbol or a phrase as you. Networking is you connect to relationships and you build know, like, and trust. Packing your calendar. Your calendar or your roster or your schedule are living, breathing things. And as your practice changes, that gets to change with you. But how aware are you of it? And you put those on repeat, meeting people, connecting with people, serving people at a high level. As your calendar changes, as your duties changes, as your business expands, we have to be aware of it because that will actually be your new ceiling. And then until we break through that ceiling. So we want to help you do that. Happy customers do not refer business. Raving fans refer business. But how do you get a raving fan? You have to go above and beyond what they expect because there's no gratitude and expectation. They got what they expected with an exchange of service. It was equal to equal, which is actually a loss. You want to be providing something that exceeds their expectations, that's a transformational service, that is an environment shift for them, so that they are walking into an experience and a transformation at the same time. You're helping them get to where they want to go, not just helping them move away from pain or move away from disease. Good enough results give you good enough practice. And I don't know if a lot of the people watching this video would just want good enough. And leadership, you cannot out-earn your level of personal development. You get to grow as your business grows. That will actually be the limiting factor. An upgrade in your systems and your practice systems requires an upgrade in the conscious awareness of the doctor. How conscious are you of your unconscious patterns? How conscious are you of your decisions and your emotional state, your mental state from day to day, from moment to moment? We got to bring that to the light. This is all shown to be true. I mean, this is hard science, whether it's neurochemistry, spiral dynamics, the way you regulate your nervous system, corporate company culture, entrepreneurship. What got you here and where you are in life will not get you there. I love that quote from Marshall Goldsmith. Do you think Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Tony Robbins, or any other billionaire have more or fewer problems than you? Of course they have more. They just have better eyes to see them, better skills and behaviors and beliefs that align them to their balance, align them to their homeostasis, even when they're stressed. With that, what do you really want? Do you want growth? Do you want expansion? Do you want connection? Do you want impact? Do you want more of the same? Either one is fine, but you get to be the one to choose. And I want to be able to help you make a decision. If this resonates with you, if this is something you want more information about, take a look in the show description. We have our website, reach out. We'd love to connect with you and figure out how best we can serve you and help you level up.